Okay, so yesterday's audio quality was not great. I'm gonna try and talk like this most of the time so that we're more consistent, maybe more conscious of where my mouth is in relation to this microphone. Even that is probably a little weird. Um, okay, so today I'd like to talk about finances. Um, I believe that finances aren't talked about enough, and I'm definitely not the person to give financial advice, seeing as I'm still living at my parents' house and have less than $0. Um, but um, first of all, I'd like to talk about where I'm at, right? And then my overall plan on getting out of that. Um, as of right now, I have very few bills, but have relatively no income. So I'd like to change that. First of all, I have car insurance, I have car registration, I have a phone bill, and I have a network marketing business that I'm paying for as well. And so um, we're going to go through basically what each of those things cost and how I'm using them to, you know, make more money. And the answer to that, the quick answer is I'm not really. Um, and then maybe in a few days or whatever, we'll go over like my assets, and then see where I can like sell some stuff to make some actual money so that I can start of do like a snowball sort of thing where I just start bringing in money, and sell the stuff that are just sitting around. Um, so phone bill is $40. I live in Southern California with my family and my parents, and so things might seem a little bit more expensive to uh, people who are not in California. Um, I drive a little junker Toyota Corolla, um, which is really reliable. It's been in the family since 2007 and is still trucking and still is really reliable. So I love Toyota. But um, just for that Toyota, I am paying $80 a month, but my dad is splitting it 50-50 with me, so it's really 160. So I'd like to start actually paying that 160, or at least treat it like I am. That way I can actually, calculate that into my bills when I move out, right? Um, so that right there is already 120 every month, unless I'm paying the full amount, and then it is, I believe, math is not my strong suit. Uh, one, what is it? 160 plus 40 is 200, right? So, um, that's just phone and car bills, and then every year I have car insurance, which, or sorry, not insurance, registration. Car registration is going to be about 120, and that's once a year, plus smog. Now, smog's tricky. A lot of people probably don't even know what smog is, but because I live in California, there is a um, eco, don't pollute the environment, make sure your catalytic converter is running, all of that crap. And so it is um, another, I don't know, $70. Um, and that's if you're not getting scammed, which last year I got scammed and ended up paying like 150. So like you got to make sure you're going to the right places. Got to make sure you're not in a sketchy like smog shop. Um, And so that's just another, we'll call it $75 for smog. And so with that, that's once a year. And if you don't have any money like me, you have to do it within, I think it's 6 months? No, 3 months. It's within 3 months of each other. So if you get your smog, you have 3 months to get your registration done. And if you don't, then you have to get smogged again, which is another $75, which is, long story short, what happened to me last year a couple times. So, car insurance or car registration can cost too much if you don't do it right. So, assuming I'm doing it right, car registration plus smog is going to cost roughly, what is that? Like 150 plus, call it 225 for just keeping the car on a yearly basis. Now, last year, I had a bunch of issues with that, so I currently owe the government like, I don't know, $300 for registration and smog and stuff. So that's something that I'm going to have to deal with as soon as I have money. The next thing is gas. So gas out here for my little Corolla that has a 9-gallon tank, to fill that up is about $40, 44-ish. And so, with that being said, I kind of calculate that as like a monthly expense because I don't drive too much because I try and do a lot of remote work. But I do have a fiance and I do like to visit her and I do like to go out on dates. So I do spend about, call it $40 to $60 a month on gas. And then again, there's like the occasional spending that everybody likes to do. And for me, that's like $5 or $10 a month because I'm broke. And so if we tally that all out, that's probably, we've got, for doing full value, not what my dad's helping me with, right? It's gonna be, wait, 160 plus 40, so that's 200. Then we have another 60, excuse me. Whew. Might do that again. Gosh dang. Okay. So 200 for phone and car, then 60 for gas. So that's 260. Then I have, we'll call it 350, so that I'm rounding up for my deficit from last year. So we're at, what, $600? And then we have, oh gosh, what was the other one? Another, we'll call it $20 just for fun, right? Or a buffer, right? So we'll call it $700. I'm just rounding. I'm not actually mathing. And that's just for January. Now, for my income, I'm getting $40 a week for video editing, and I'm trying to get that higher. We'll see if I can get that to 80. I'm probably not charging enough, but then at the same time, I'm probably not good enough to charge enough. So there's, I don't know. I gotta up my editing game. Which that's definitely not happening with this video. This, again, just talking, shipping. There's really no editing that goes into these videos. But eventually maybe that'll change. Let's see. I do some yard work. Again, my parents helping me out. I do some yard work for my parents, and they'll pay me like $17 an hour. But uh, being in a desert that isn't a lot of yard work, um, not complaining, but it doesn't really pay the bills. Sometimes it does during the rainy season, but like other than that, it's just barren all year long. Um, Sometimes my neighbors will need me to go over and I'll do some yard work for them at like $15 an hour because I want to take care of my neighbors. And then I do some like IT consulting, um, where I just, problem solve for people who are like solopreneurs that are actually making money and can afford to spend some on some kid who has grown up with a computer all his life, right? So just doing basic things like trying to figure out, why a software isn't running correctly or why, you know, customer service is trash on this website and how to circumvent it or like how to do a job that somebody else isn't doing, and how to do it more efficiently. And that costs, no, that costs them, um, I think it's 20, maybe it's $25 an hour. I don't know. But that, again, is a rare gig. So everything's kind of like up in the air and I'm on call for a bunch of things. And so that means that my income is very sporadic and loosely there. Um, then I have my um, uh, network marketing business, which um, is a supplement company, and you can kind of see how do I do this? They're right there. But I really haven't found anybody who's interested in the supplements or the business model behind it. However, I really like the supplements and I use them on a daily basis, and um, they work for me. And so I'm just, buying the product at this point. And so that is taking out another 116 every month. So that bumps me up to $900. I don't remember what I said before, if it was 700 or 750, but we'll just round it. I need $1,000 a month just to like get through everything, right? And that's, while I'm living at home, not doing anything crazy, not going out to eat every day, not like having to pay for Wi-Fi or, water bills or electricity. It's just like bare minimum $1,000 a month, right? Heck, not paying for food or like really any subscriptions. I'm just, you know, keeping everything very low, right? Um, However, the supplements have potential to pay me. I think it's up to like 80 grand a month. Um, but that would require other people to, be interested in the product and also believe in it and also try and sell it themselves. So that's another whole can of worms that is, I believe in it, but I also don't really, like I said in the last few videos, I don't really know very many people, let alone know how to network. I try. I tried at the wedding I went to yesterday. It was a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of cool people, um, and so we'll see what comes of that. But um, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at financially. I don't know if I'll have time to put up little numbers and um, any like infographics, but I probably won't. I'll probably just say, hey, these are my finances. Try and keep up. And then I'll, you know, do a couple jump cuts and then call it good and ship it out. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. I have a reliable income of $40 a week, so that's $160 a month, and an outgoing amount of money of, we'll call it, for, so it stays relatively accurate, like $850 to $900 going out. So I'm obviously bleeding cash. And right now I'm really only being able to sustain that because of the kindness of my parents. So overall, I'm in debt probably about $5,000, but they are kind enough to hold me up in their house, and you know, everyone around me, my fiance and my parents and my siblings, like, support what I'm doing and are trying to let me do the little things that get me closer and closer to fulfilling my dreams. And so I have to be grateful and thankful that I don't have people trying to collect on that $5,000, right? So, you know what's funny? Most of that $5,000 is from failed business attempts with other businesses. The supplements aren't actually the culprit there, which I'm sure some of you would have expected. The culprit is, for the most part, you know, signing up for, like, business style, like, what's it called? I don't remember what it's called. Products that are marketed towards business owners, right? To make, more administrative stuff easier. And, me being young and dumb and not knowing how to entrepreneur, I spent way too much money when I had way too little money and not even an idea of what I was doing for business. So eventually I'll have plenty of money, and $5,000 will be like, $5,000, here you go, right? But until then, that's, again, just a rounded number. It's lower than that. But I like to inflate the numbers so that I can prepare for what it will be when I have the money to pay it off, right? And so when I do have the money to pay my monthly stuff, I have a little bit left over, just for the stuff that I forgot to calculate in, right? It's not for me to be like, oh, look, I'm in a worse position than I am. It's a form of preparedness in my mind. But yeah, I know that I said in previous videos that I want to not only push myself, but push you guys as well. So I guess in that regard, I challenge you guys to, like, look at your finances. Where are you guys bleeding cash, and where can you start to, like, cut some things off, right? For me, I'm gonna look at my assets first, or I guess second, and see what else I have, because I'm pretty happy with where I'm at as far as, like, outgoing bills. I've kind of trimmed everything down to this core, but other than that, I'm working towards just upping my income. because I know moving out is going to cost me like 4 grand a month minimum. So, um, yeah, I think that's it. Just, I don't know, take this as inspiration, I guess. Hey, at least if you're not in California, your bills don't cost as much as mine do. Um, hopefully. If your bills cost more than mine, I'm very curious to see what they are. But, um, yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.